It's time for Veterans Issues, the show that brings you information about veterans, military, and their family. Now here's your host, Ken Rollins.
Welcome to Veterans Issues. We are brought to you by the Red, White, and Blue. Today's guest is Terry Parker, and Terry's going to be a guest with him, and we're going to talk about Habitat for Humanity. We're going to talk about Habitat for Humanity. Get you a pen, be right back. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. I appreciate you tuning in this week. Today I got a guest, Terry Parker. He's Executive Director of the Calhoun County Habitat for Humanity. Got Amanda Pinson. She's the Operations Director of the same organization. And after a while we'll have a guest up here, Benicia Johnson. And we're going to talk about what they do at the Calhoun County Habitat for Humanity. And I know I'll get that messed up in a minute. Welcome to the show, Terry. See ya. You see how you did that?
Yeah.
There you go. Well, welcome, Amanda.
Thank you.
You say you have your own show here before long, right?
Maybe.
Is that what you're working on?
That's what I'm working on.
You're going to be a regular. Oh, I've watched your show before, the Amanda Pinson Show. First of all, let's, Terry, you got a little background here in the county. Everybody knows who you are, but a lot of people don't. So how'd you end up over here? I know you'd be doing a lot of things, but.
Well, if you're talking about Habitat, I started volunteering in March with a friend of mine, Joel Denny, and some other folks, and the position came open, and I was offered, and I accepted, and been in that position for 4 months now.
When you was volunteering, what did you do? Like carpenter work, things like that? Or just
Carpenter, plumbing, electrical, door moving, supply moving, anything they blowing the floors off with a shop vac.
I'm glad you got that down there because I don't want to see you down. Yeah, that's a great deal. There's a lot of, and you get a lot more out of that than you put in it, don't you, when you do that?
It is. It's rewarding. You know, Ken, we take for granted when we turn our light switch on, our lights are going to work, our plumbing's going to work. When it rains, we're going to be dry. The wind blows, it's not coming to the windows. There's a lot of people who do not have that advantage or are not blessed with the things that we have.
Absolutely.
And we're seeking to replace the homes for people that are in substandard housing, give them a safe, decent, affordable place to live.
And what better time of the year to talk about things like that? Because the one thing that's always got me about that group, Amanda, is the word humanity in it. I know y'all probably take it for granted, but that word is such a heavy, awesome thing because it doesn't say little people, big people, any color people. It's humanity, and it's a habitat for them, for a place to live for humanity. And that's just as I come in here today, I drive by exit on the interstate, and that's where a bunch of people live in the wooded areas there. And each one of them's got a story of the reason they're in there. And Terry mentioned about having a shelter over. We do take those things for granted, but people are in those for various reasons. You could go in there and see 10 people homeless and probably get 11 different excuses or reasons for that. So, but when I hear about Habitat for Humanity, I haven't discussed this with you guys for one reason, because I want to know the same time the audience does. I've always thought that it was something to do with somebody that just didn't have a place to live. It just and it's a free house.
No.
See, that's what I think.
And that's a big misconception that a lot of people have about Habitat, but the houses aren't free. There is a mortgage on the home. It is an interest-free mortgage, which keeps the payment affordable for low to middle income families.
Well, I'd love to have one of those.
Absolutely.
I did a refinance on my own for down to 3.5 or something like that. When you take the interest away, good gracious. But it's still, they're having to pay and they having to. But now, when I was reading up on some of the things was that I do know the answer to is the person that is the recipient of a home has to do what Terry's talking about. They have to volunteer X number of hours or whatever is it. Do they have a set number of hours or just?
They do have a set number of hours. It's 275 hours per adult in the household. And up a 14-year-old to 18 have 50 additional
Oh,
hours that
yes,
they,
okay.
yes. And younger children can contribute to the sweat equity hours by their grades on their report card as
Wow.
well.
Wow. Yeah, see, I've already learned something. We can close the show out now. Let's talk. We can talk about burgers and fries. Now, that is something when you make an ownership. You know, it's like something. I remember rent for years and years and years. You rent and you give into demand, so to speak. But when I got my first house, I mean, it was a whole different feeling. And I can imagine what it's like.
Sure.
Y'all get to see us all the time, but I don't.
We do, and it's such a huge blessing to be able to see that and to see people that are coming, families that are coming from a rental environment and into a home that's their own, and they're able to contribute back to the community by paying property taxes. Our homeowners pay over $25,000 in property taxes annually. They also pay over $400,000 in utility payments and over $100,000 a year in homeowner insurance premiums.
That is, I didn't think about that, about the utilities and things like that, but they're contributing just the same as I am or anybody else is.
Right.
It's just that they on the bottom end of it. Terry, tell me, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Tell me one of the most moving or the one's experience.
Seeing a house turned over to a client. It's just,
Anyone in particular?
well, I've attended 2, and we'll have one coming up in the next few weeks. I don't think there's ever dry eye in the house. It's just so moving. It's such an experience
The
to
part where you give the key?
turn the key over.
Yeah, and that's actually a house dedication ceremony. And we have one of those every time that we finish a home.
Well, let me ask you the same thing. What is memorable?
Well, since I've been volunteering with Habitat in 2003, I've only missed 2 house dedications. So every house dedication has been moving to me, but probably the most moving part to me is, seeing how excited the children are
I was gonna say, yeah.
to move into their new house and to have their own room,
Yeah,
to be in a
that's,
safe neighborhood.
Wow, you took that one away from me there too, the safe neighborhood, because that's awesome. And neighborhoods change.
Mm-hmm.
I've been living where I have for 20-something years, and all of a sudden, we got some neighbors that moved in. It's got some teenage boys and bikes that not supposed to be on streets and stuff like that. And your neighborhood can change, but the other part was the violence that they have in. We had to move out of an area of Anniston. I sold my building out there to Vietnam veterans because of the little young guys that want to shoot up things.
And that's the important part, is we want someone to be in an environment where they feel safe and secure, and that adds to the emotional stability and well-being of a child, not having fear of what's around them and their surroundings.
Yeah, and I imagine that the kids, some of them are for the first time having their own bedroom.
They
You
are.
seen some of that?
Yes, absolutely.
That's the part I would like to be a fly on the wall.
Yeah, and there are guidelines of number of people that can be in a bedroom. The size of the house is dictated by the number of people living there. No more than 2 to a bedroom.
And a lot of single parents and stuff are trying to do. Got 2 or 3 kids to a bedroom, but we got more to talk about here when we come back. We're going to bring a guest on here when we come back that is a recipient of one of the homes, and I hope that she'll enlighten us to somehow that feels. Thank you, Terry. He's going to step away here in just a minute.
Thank you.
We're going to go to a break, come back. We're going to talk more about Habitat for Humanity, and we're going to meet a very special guest. Stay there, get you up in. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. Ken Rollins here, and we're joined on the set. I'm going to make sure I get this right, because Venetia Johnson. Did I get it right?
Yes, sir, you did.
Welcome to the show.
Hi.
You know how to do that. There you go. Venetia, you are a recipient of a Habitat for Humanity home. What does that mean to Venetia?
Oh, it's wonderful. It's a blessing.
Yeah.
It's everything I dreamed of.
Well, let me do a disclaimer first. I've been knowing you since you was this high. We hadn't seen each other for
I know.
at least 15 or 20 years, I guess. But
Yes, sir.
but your granddaddy is my hero.
He's mine too.
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
we're talking about Edward Wood, and Edward is a movie star. Does he still talk to y'all now? He's got that.
He still talks. He's got more of a social life than
I
I
know he
do.
does. He's got a DVD out called My Aniston, and he travels all over. But I worked with him for about 30 years, so I know a little bit of something about him. I put him up there in the great men section.
Really?
You're very privileged to have somebody like that.
Oh, yes, most definitely.
But now, you got children.
Yes, sir.
How many?
One.
One? Is that enough? Handful? Okay, how old is he?
She's 3.
3. Now, have you already taken possession of the home?
Yes.
How did that, we was talking about, I don't want to hear from Amanda anymore about that. I want to hear from you. What was it like? Was it?
It is very nice. I enjoy the neighborhood. The home is beautiful. It's so quiet and so peaceful. My daughter loves it. Like, she's like that too. This is her first time having her own room, and
Really?
she loves it. She's got enough space to run around and be a kid and enjoy herself. She can go outside. We don't have to worry about nobody being outside that shouldn't be there and anything going on.
Wow. That's and there again, that goes with what Terry was talking about earlier, the things we take for granted, like a roof over our head. But just not have to worry about your kids stepping outside.
Right.
That's an awesome
Right.
deal right there. Because I was telling in the other segment that we had a place, I'm not going to mention the part of town it was in, but it's in a nice area,
Right.
and always had been. And I'm sitting there one day, and a guy walks up on the porch and pulls out a pistol and just starts shooting into the porch. And he emptied 8 rounds and then pulled out a clip and shoved another in. And he looks over at me like, "What are you going to do?" Found out he was 18 years old and the leader of a gang.
Wow.
When I called the police, they knew him. Oh yeah, we know him. He's the leader of the gang. And guess what they got to do to be in that gang? Shoot in a house, shoot in a car. And so that's when I called up the realtor, and had to get out of town. Couldn't put our people at risk like that.
Right.
But that's awesome when you talk about the security, the fact that you don't have to. And see, I don't even think about that. So
Right.
that's awesome. But when it's talking about the financial part of it, is it a real big strain on you to take care of this, to have your own home now, or compared
No.
to what was you doing before that? Renting?
I was staying with my mom.
Okay. Vanessa?
Yes.
I love that. See,
Yes.
Amanda's sitting here looking at us. She don't know we got some history here.
Yes.
She's a great lady. Yeah, I used to work on her washing machines and stuff. And
She probably needs you now.
yeah, if I can get out there, okay. It's that getting back up. It gets me.
Right.
Yeah, but it's some good people there. I don't. Amanda, you want to add anything about something about that you mentioned? You threw something out there a while ago that you wanted to make sure I talked about.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about our Restore. We have Habitat Restores. They're unique to Habitat.
Restores.
It's a Restore, yes. We sell new and used building materials that are donated by individuals and companies, and the proceeds go back into home building funds.
Okay, now how does that work? Somebody donates. I mean,
They can donate, they can call our Restore and schedule a pickup, or they may bring their items to our Restore. And you also receive a tax deduction for any items that are donated. Our Restore is located at 22 West 10th Street, which is across the street from the Peerless. And we offer a 20% discount to all police and military personnel.
okay, first responder type.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That is this address I got here, the habitat@aniston.org. Is that the best way to contact you, or you have a phone number to call?
Habitataniston.org, or they may call 256-237-3700.
256.
237 3700.
See, that's why I have this pen, folks. I tell everybody, get a pen. I'm glad I had mine today.
And we also have a Facebook page. I know a lot of people use social media, so
Not
they
me.
can look us up on Facebook.
Terry Parker would tell you a little bit different about me and Facebook, because I wear Facebook out. Between me and politics, I tell you. But anyhow, that's Venetia. When I was asking that, I was asking Amanda about the most experiences there. But when you when you first, well, let me back up. What did you do when you was volunteering? Some of the things that you do, the actual work. I mean, I know you wasn't carrying lumber and stuff like this, or you might have been, but
I did a little stuff, a little carry. But for the most part, I went in like my house. I painted, we
Okay.
cleaned. I picked up stuff and gave it to the people that they needed, the stuff I could not do.
did you ever get to drive a nail?
No,
Okay.
no, I don't think they want me to.
I hear, I hear you.
Our home was actually a renovation.
What
Not
now?
it was a we renovated a home for Venetia, so it wasn't a new build.
Okay.
So it was a home renovation.
What is it? What is it like? Is it a siding or
Vinyl siding.
siding style? Yeah, that's great. What's the what it says it? I noticed in there it said it changes lives and stuff. Either one of y'all answer that. What would you say as a recipient it changed your life? I mean,
Peaceful,
peaceful.
very peaceful. You don't have to worry about the noises you hear at night. You don't have to worry about your daughter playing outside in the front yard. It's gonna be okay. She can play out there or in the back. So it's very peaceful. Like I said, my neighbors, I met the neighbors, everybody around the neighborhood, and they're very nice. So it's just really relaxing.
And now when you say we come over to my house, we're not talking about Vanessa's house.
Right.
That's a big deal right there.
It is.
Is this the first Thanksgiving?
It will
The
be,
first-
yes.
Boy, and you got a lot to be thankful for.
Yes, sir.
I would have loved to have drove a nail or done something to that, because just to been a part of that, because you are such a special person.
Oh, thank you.
And I go back again. I know that they don't think that I knew you when you was about yay high, but you don't remember it because you was too little.
Right.
But I do remember you, and you're so deserving of that. And
thank you.
Amanda, am I missing something here that I didn't talk about?
Well, if anyone is interested in volunteering, they may contact us. We aren't accepting applications at this time, but we hope to be accepting applications for homeowners sometime after the first of the year.
How will they know that it's just
We advertise on various media outlets. We will also have it on our Facebook that we discussed earlier and our website, and they may also contact the office.
do you ever put it on shows like Veterans Issues, stuff that covers the world, like this show?
We would love to do that in the
All right,
future.
well, we might have your people contact my people,
Sounds like a
well-
plan.
because I know you want to get out there in the world. So there's folks watching this show over in Switzerland, a place like that.
Sure, and we want to have more of an outreach to
Y'all
our
wanna go build
veterans
a
in
house in
our
Switzerland?
community. Why not?
I know somebody's watching in Switzerland because they trace it, and the only person I know over is Shania Twain. She's stalking me. I appreciate y'all coming on the show.
Thank
Good luck
you.
to
I
you,
enjoyed
girl.
it. Thank you.
And
Thank you so much.
Thank you for what y'all doing. And,
Thank you.
Can't beat it. Habitat for Humanity. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. Caught me drinking coffee. What I didn't tell you on the previous part is that the recipient of the home, Venetia, is she's within the National Guard, and I forgot to thank her for her service. So if she's still watching, I want to make sure that goes out there. And thank her for her service. And she went to Iraq. That's down the other side of Ohatchee, and no, she's a real deal, and I'm so appreciative for her coming on here today. Let me give you these numbers. This is why I want you to have the pen. The VA hotline. This time of the year, folks, is the worst time in the world for somebody in the military and somebody that's a veteran. This is a sad time. This is a time they start thinking about things that they've been through, and it's also a time that they're not with the families that they'd like to be with, and they see other people sharing a family dinner and things like that. So we got 22 veterans killing themselves every day. Just think about that. Tonight when you go to sleep, 22 veterans will have taken their life. Here's a hotline if you see somebody that's and having problems. 855-948-2311. 855-948-2311. And I will talk more about that in a couple of weeks when I have the director of the VA here on here, and it's a real bad thing. There's another number too, to write this one down. This is a crisis line. If you know of a veteran that's in a crisis, it's 1-800-273-8255, 273-8255, and when the voice comes on, press 1. That's the Veterans Crisis Line. And it, like I said, this is Thanksgiving and Christmas are the worst times for any veteran or any military serving anywhere in the United States or around the world. I want you to write this every week. I tell you about this website because it is the real deal. It's Wounded Warrior Alabama, Wounded Warrior Alabama @gmail.com. That is, you don't have to be a wounded warrior to get assistance. But if you know of a veteran that's in stress out there, then they have built ramps for the handicapped veterans and things like that. When I've got a veteran in need, that's who I call, 256-458-2715, 256-458-2715. And the guy that owns it, that started it, put his money in behind it and still doing it, is Ross Winter. And Ross is a veteran, and he's a good man. He's putting his money where his mouth is. And the clinic wants me to remind you again about this. They got an influx of flu. A lot of it can be prevented by simply doing what I talk about every week. When you grab a hold of that buggy at the shopping center and it's warm, somebody had just had that buggy in their hand and they may have been doing this, and you're taking that to your face. So wash those hands. They say, hum a verse of Old MacDonald Had a Farm. And if you can't do that, to sing Achy Breaky Heart, I don't care. But remember what they said about the washing of the hands and door handles and things like that. The flu thing is really bad, especially people with diabetes and things like that. Okay, let's see. The law enforcement tag at the end of this year, if you want to get the tag renewed, do that. That helps us build a memorial. You do not have to be in the military, law enforcement to get one of those tags. And it honors those who have fallen in the line of duty, and it helps us build this park up here in Anniston. And this week's salute, I want a group of people out there working hard at the Toys for Tots. The Marine Corps League is doing that. Look for those boxes. It's a great organization, great way to make somebody's Christmas. We'll see you next week here, and guess who's going to be your Santa Claus? Santa Claus next week. See you then. Salute.